What has it been like for you?
Yeah, that was a horrific night, as you can imagine.
Will Smith has been the talk of town yet again after Chris Rock bullied him for a $40 million deal with Netflix, making Will the finale for his live comedy special titled Selective Outrage. The comedy special is reported to be worth $40 million, which, if true, signals a handsome last laugh all the way to the bank, while Smith gets to have an entire comedy series titled with him in mind. The comedian mocked Will Smith and their infamous slap and also delved into Will's bizarre relationship, all the while benching a hefty check. This deal forged a new benchmark for the streaming service as Netflix for the very first time attempted a live stream. The special, shot in Baltimore, Maryland with no pre-recordings, no edits and streamed over 190 countries, saw Chris Rock not only discussing the slap from Smith but going into a number of issues. In his skit, Rock admitted that the slap hurt him a lot but then went on to mention how Smith's life all over the internet clearly showed some of the issues happening in the Smith household. Chris said, "You know what people say? They say, words hurt. Anybody that say words hurt has never been punched in the face." It's been almost a year since the slapping scandal that shocked millions around the world, and finally Chris Rock spoke at length for the first time about being slapped by Will Smith during the Oscars. Chris Rock said, "Everybody knows, yes, it happened. I got slapped a year ago. I got smacked by this motherfucker, and people are like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I've got summertime ringing in my ears." It was during last year's Oscar ceremony when Will Smith, who went on to win Best Actor that night, slapped Chris Rock squarely in the face in the middle of the broadcast after he joked about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, having a bald head. Now the reason why Jada is bald is because she shaves due to alopecia. Having someone make a joke of his wife might have enraged him, and after yelling at Rock from his seat, Will Smith walked on stage to smack Rock in the face. The comedian later declined to press charges. Chris got a chance to talk about the slap days later when he performed in Boston, but he said that he was still kind of processing what happened and that at some point he would talk about it. He also claimed that when he would eventually talk about it, it would be both serious and funny. Despite going on a world tour in between, it wasn't until this Netflix special that for the first time, Chris spoke at length about the incident. He made several comments in his new show about people seeking attention by classifying themselves as victims, but said that he is not a victim. He said, "You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. Never going to happen. I took that hit like boxer Manny Pacquiao. I took it like motherfucking Pacquiao. Did it hurt? Yeah, motherfucker, it hurt." Chris Rock revealed that the Oscar slap was what had inspired the name of his new Netflix show. Will Smith practices selective outrage. "Everybody knows what the fuck happened. And everybody really knows I had nothing to do with that shit. I didn't have any entanglements," he said, referring to Jada Smith's description of the affair she had with her son's friend, rapper August Alsina, while still married to Smith. Jada Smith even had the guts to make the admission of cheating directly to her husband Will on an episode of her online show, Red Table Talk. Chris Rock said, "His wife was fucking his son's friend. Okay, I normally would not talk about this shit, but for some reason, they put that shit on the internet. I have no idea why two talented people would do something that low down. What the fuck? It was actually such a weird experience for the internet to see the longtime couple airing their laundry out in public and Ada publicly admitting to cheating on her husband, and the couple actually laughed about it." Rock continued saying, "Everybody in here has been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. She hurt him way more than he hurt me." Chris claimed that he tried to call Smith afterwards to give him his condolences, but unfortunately he didn't pick up. "Everybody called that man a bitch. And who's he hit? Me?" He added to laughter. Rock also said that he had loved Will Smith his whole life and that he rooted for him for a very long time, but no, only watched Emancipation to see him whooped. In Emancipation, Will's character goes through a lot of hurdles and is kicked and whipped as a slave during the Emancipation period in 1863. While Rock tabled a few other issues such as Meghan Markle and her allegations of racism from the palace, it seems many Netflix subscribers welcomed Rock's retaliation and everyone was talking about the show from the moment it aired. Chris rejected people describing himself and Smith as fighting, saying, "First of all, I know you can't tell on camera, but Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. We are not the same size." He must have said this in embarrassment because most people had claimed that he had cowered from the fight and let Will walk away proudly. Rock continued saying, "Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You ain't never seen me do a movie with my shirt off. I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery. I've got on a sweater. Will played Muhammad Ali in a movie. Do you think I auditioned for that part? He played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie in New Jack City." Chris Rock ended the show by claiming that he didn't retaliate that night because he had parents who raised him differently and who taught him not to fight before white people, before dropping his mic and ending the show. Unlike Chris, Will Smith never shied away from addressing the incident, and he has repeatedly talked about the slap since, publicly apologizing to Rock the day after on Instagram, writing, "I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." Just like Chris, he also tried to reach out to the other man, but Chris was not ready to talk. He even talked about the incident when he appeared on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, saying, "There's many nuances and complexities to it, but at the end of the day, I lost it. I guess what I would say, you just never know what somebody's going through." He added in a more serious tone about the moment he slapped Rock for directing a joke toward his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Smith said that everyone was going through something and that no one really knew or understood what others were going through, and unfortunately, he was going through something that night. He claimed that his problems should not justify his actions, but that the punchline from Chris was too much for him to bear and that why he acted emotionally. Speaking to Noah, he also revealed the impact the events had on those closest to him, especially his young nephew Dom, who stayed up late to see his uncle Will at the 94th Academy Awards. When Will got home that day, Dom asked him, "Why did you hit that man, Uncle Will?" Will claimed this question knocked out his breath because not only had he disappointed his nephew, he had also set a bad example to young in his household. "We just got to be nice to each other, man," Will stated in reflection about what he learned from the incident. "It's hard, and I guess the thing that's the most painful for me is I took my heart and I made it hard for other people. It was a lot of things," he said about the motivation for his actions and his past history of fearing conflict. "It was the little boy that watched his father beat up his mother. I have no independent recollection," Smith added in reference to Noah describing the awards show as one of the best and worst nights of the actor's life. "Yeah, that was a horrific night, as you can imagine," said Smith. In the weeks following the slap, Will Smith resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and was eventually banned from attending Academy events for a decade. While Will was going around apologizing to Chris was looking for ways to talk about the humiliating slap in a more fun way, and with the show he delivered. Not only was he able to get back at Will for the slap through verbal humiliation, he was able to do that and still bag $40 million in the process. A fan on Twitter said, "Chris Rock verbally slapping Will Smith on stage. Funny jokes usually have an element of truth to them, otherwise it wouldn't be funny. If someone is making fun of you and your first response is to physically attack them, you're only revealing your own insecurities as a person." Anyways, let's not forget that this video is based on theories and my opinions and should not be considered facts. That's it for this video. Bye.